It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio with us today. We're sitting down with Cottonwood Police Chief Steve Gesell. Welcome back.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, Paul.
It's been a while since I've seen you.
It has. I missed you.
I missed you too.
Yeah.
How endearing. Okay. CottonwoodAZ.gov is the website to go to. I'm going to bring up Facebook with you.
Sure.
We'll push that back a little bit. But
one of my favorites.
The Cottonwood, if you go to CottonwoodAZ.gov, that's the city's website, and then of course you can get to the Cottonwood Police Department's website from there. Now I'm going to do the Facebook thing right now. Used to be, back in the day when I started this, that everything came email, or it was actually done phone. It was on phone calls.
Right.
I would call Chief Gesell, and I would call, Chief or Prescott Valley. I would call somebody every morning, and then that kind of faded away, and it went to, we'll email you the information. Mm-hmm. So then I started getting emails. Now it's not so much email anymore. If I want information about different things going on across Yavapai or Coconino County, I got to go to Facebook pages. I don't have a Facebook page, Chief. I just don't want one.
Right, neither do I.
And I've never had one.
Right.
But I noticed everybody's on Facebook pages. Now the problem with that for me is that if I go to Facebook and I click on it, and I go to open it and look at it, these little blocks come up and say, oh, you need to log in or create an account. Well, I don't want to log in or create an account. I just want to look at the information.
I'm with you.
And every time I scroll around, that box keeps popping up. Log in, create account. And I'm finding it more and more difficult now to get the information I need, because if I want to find that information, I got to join a social media site.
Right.
And I don't want to join a social media site.
I'm with you.
So what do we do? I mean, how do I handle that? I've got, like, instead of it being on my email or making the phone calls each day and just, making my rounds and stuff like that, maybe taking 30 minutes to an hour to do, now I've got to go through 20, 30 Facebook pages and then struggle with that box that pops up. And I just don't understand why all these government agencies, and it's been going on for a long time, but why go to Facebook when some people don't want to have that social media site to go into?
I think that, and I hear what you're saying, like we said before the camera started rolling, is I killed my Facebook page about a year ago, as I think the cost benefit to society is waning for a lot of these social media sites. And I think a lot of people are exiting and or don't want to touch on them, but there's still a lot of people that do. The challenge for any entity that wants to push out information is the lack of options. So we do have the website. So the city's website, generally most of our media releases are going to be on both. They're going to be posted on our website, the city's website, which we control and is unadulterated by the latest rant by your
there's no advertising on it. None of that stuff's on it.
No, it's been totally adulterated, in my opinion. But it is a challenge. But you can go to the website, and most of our information is replicated on both, and it's pushed out on, Twitter and Instagram as well for the people that use that. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of options for us. I'd love to get out of Facebook. I'll be honest.
It's not just that one. I mean, there are agencies, the Forest Service, any of the agencies that I contact on a regular basis. It's like, okay, I got to go here for this information. Then I got to go over here for this information. It's not all in one place anymore. It seems like it's just all over the board.
And it becomes a challenge for an administrator like me, because I've got my talented staff pushing out this information, but I have to rely on my assistant to tell me what's on Facebook, because I personally don't get on it, which is, like I said, a recent advent in the last year. I'm just, I'm done personally.
That was a personal rant, though. I just thought I'd get you.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
Okay, now let's talk about this, because you had a customer service survey done.
It's coming.
Or you've got one coming up.
Yes, we're going to launch one. So we're really excited about this. So our agency has been executing a 5-year strategic plan. I'd say probably about 5 to 10% of the police departments nationwide have them, so we're very proud of ours. It's a 5-year roadmap, not uncommon to many organizations that help guide them through decisions that they need to make over the 5 years. It's a living, breathing document. But I'm proud to say that we are coming up to the end of our 5-year strategic plan. And I've been here 5.5 years, believe it or not. So it's great for me to see the fruition and all the accomplishments, because it does become, it's a roadmap, and it also is it documents the chronology and the accomplishments of a lot of, not just the police department efforts, but a lot of our city and our partners, our stakeholders' efforts as well. So we're very excited. But when we launch that, generally speaking, what you want to do is you want to reach out to your customer base, regardless of what industry you're in when you launch a strategic plan. We're in the odd business of policing, so we have customers we serve as well. Takes on a different flavor many times, but very interesting. But we kick this out and we use it as we launch the next 5-year plan. So it's kind of a reassessment. Okay, what's our mission statement? What's our value statement? What are the issues in the community that are important that they want their police department to focus on?
So there have got to be things 5.5 years ago that you put on that plan, you just mentioned, that are taken care of, that you've done them.
Many. I think we probably got, and I'd have to aggregate them and take a look at them, but we probably accomplished 100 strategic initiatives in that 5 years, I would say easily. Yeah, so look for that customer. It'll be a quick 10 question survey. There'll be an opportunity to fill in a couple of them, but it's a Survey Monkey. It's very easy to complete. It'll be pushed out in several different ways. One, it'll be in water billings, and this will be toward the end of this month, preceding National Night Out, which is on October 5th. And we do plan on having it this year. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Last year, as you're aware, we had to cancel. So we're hoping that we can continue that, but we'll offer people that visit our National Night Out event on that day an opportunity to fill it out by hand. And we'll also post it on social media, on Facebook. So you can go to Facebook and you can check it out. But we'll also have it on our website.
Okay.
So, and it's, we're not worried about it being completely scientific or, hey, somebody replicated this or that. We want to pull in the information, assess it, and help fold that into our next 5-year strategic plan. Okay.
Now, there was a couple of things way back when you first started as chief here in Cottonwood that you came in, and there were a couple of projects that were coming out that I liked, and let's revisit those. One of the first ones I remember you talking about is that you were basically designating officers to certain parts of Cottonwood. Right. So this is your chunk. Get to know who lives here, get to know what's going on here. How has that worked out, and is that still being used?
That is the program. It's our neighborhood officer program, and that program, I get more feedback from outside my agency on just people love it. I still believe we've got a ways to go internally in our culture, because it's kind of a different way of doing business, where we're used to solving problems and solving them quickly, and many problems need to be addressed quickly, but there's others that we want to defer and give to that person, that officer that we've given that neighborhood, is what we call them. There's 9 of them in the city. There used to be 8, and we annexed that portion, so we broke out another one. But if you go to our website, if you live or work in the city, if you go to the website, not social media, but our website, under the PD, you'll see Neighborhood Officer Program, and you'll see for a city of our size, a pretty cool interactive map where you can click it and you can speak directly to You can call, or generally speaking, people will send an email to start the conversation if there's an ongoing problem, or you just want to meet the officer that has ownership of your neighborhood. But still ongoing, and we are always looking for ways to improve it, and that's actually on our strategic plan now, of ways to essentially boost or supercharge that program.
Well, I think a lot of folks moving into the area or moving around the area now know, just hearing you say that this is an opportunity for them to actually do that and say, well, I do have an issue on my street.
Right.
I can go look up my own officer and talk about that. Let's take our first break. Cottonwood Police Chief Steve Gesell is with us in studio today. Website is cottonwoodaz.gov. Stick around, countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
Terrifying jobs. Bull Rider, take 2.
Cliff, this seems like a really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get bucked up.
How big are these bulls?
12 to 2,200 pounds of pure muscle.
You're not cowed by any of this, obviously. Is there anything that scares you?
Yeah, distracted drivers terrify me.
Two things we can count on every year.
A new set of tax rules and great weather here in northern Arizona.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, locally owned and operated by Lewis Rice since 1997, is here for you all year long.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Office will help you in all of your taxing situations.
Electronic filing is always free with your tax preparation at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service.
Get more in return. Call 1-800-234-1040 for an office near you.
The EPA says C&B Construction ranks in the top 1% nationally. C&B Construction invites you to see what energy efficiency and indoor air quality can be. We have won another Department of Energy Innovation Award, and C&B Construction is the only contractor in the country to win 6 consecutive EPA Indoor Air Plus awards. Experience our zero-energy, move-in ready homes at Crossroads at Mingus.
C&B Construction, locally respected, nationally recognized. Find out more at candbhomes.com.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
Welcome back to Countywide. Cottonwood Police Chief Steve Gesell in studio today. We need to talk about fentanyl. That is something that comes up. I remember when methamphetamine came on the scene, and it was like this new drug. I never heard of it before. It's kind of like the bath salts and spice.
Right.
Spice, yeah, those drugs came along as well.
Trendy.
And now fentanyl. I remember several years ago, YCSO did this big bust. There was a white powder in a bag and stuff, and they opened it, and when they got back, they were like, oh my God, this stuff could have blown into our faces and literally killed us right there. But fentanyl is pretty common in my news anymore. The little blue pill with the M30 on the back. Do they do the M30 anymore?
M30s, yeah, absolutely.
That's still the brand then. M30 stays on there.
Still doing the counterfeit pills. They're moving powder now as well. Very, very alarming. And as you know, I'm on the MAT Force Board of Directors. I'm very pleased to sit on there for the last almost a year now. And this is obviously job number one for MAT Force, is getting the education out there, particularly not on all drugs, but with special emphasis on fentanyl, because we've had so many overdoses and deaths in the county, and alarming, and I've been in this business for 32 years, and your typical overdose is male, older. We're seeing teens overdose on fentanyl. Very, very sad, and most people are aware of some of the youth that have overdosed in the county. But yeah, very, very dangerous. And in the short time we have, it's very frustrating being in law enforcement, and we hear discussions, and I just mentioned this in our MAT Force meeting the other day, that we focus on prevention and the issues, but the reality is this poison is flooding into our country in mass quantities. It's controlled by Mexican cartels, and this shouldn't be this should be almost common knowledge at this point. But 99% of all fentanyl is trafficked by Mexican cartels, and that fentanyl is moved across our southern border. So we focus a lot on, the hot topics of the immigration status and the status of our border, and quite frankly, it's a sieve currently, and it's very, very concerning, both on the human side, but the media does not pay attention to the drug side as much as they should, and the government, quite frankly, the federal government, should be focused on ways to reduce this wave of fentanyl that is coming into our country and just flooding every neighborhood. It doesn't matter if it's urban or rural.
I noticed there's a lot of it that you hear the traffic stops. YCSO just loves the Cordes Lakes, Cordes Junction area and the Ash Fork area. They just love I-40 and I-17, and that's where you hear typically where there's stops made, and then thousands of pills are coming out of the
We've made the
vehicles.
same interdictions, right, on this side.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I think the problem with those fentanyl pills is that, you know, somebody's baking that at home, and you got somebody just stirring it there, and maybe they get called away for a second and forget to come back and stir it anymore, and you got this batch up here that's got this much in it, you got this batch down here that's got this much in it, and this one's just killing people like crazy.
Yeah, I just heard a statistic, and I don't know if it's accurate, but 1 in 4 of these M40 pills contains a lethal dose, a dose that would be lethal to most humans. 1 in 4, which is almost like spinning the cylinder of a pistol. So very important for parents to at least have a baseline conversation with their teens and their kids, telling them the dangers of taking any pill that is not prescribed to them. Flat out. It doesn't matter. Your friends say it's this or that. You cannot trust them, because we've seen some of these kids die because their friends gave it to them and they told them it was something else.
It's scary.
And they believed them.
Yeah, that's scary. I remember having Matt Force come in, I think Marilee was in one time. We were talking about Skittles parties, where they just all go raid mom, dad, grandma, grandpa's medicine cabinet, just take a bunch of pills, throw them in a bowl, and just start doing them. I'm like, I never had that kind of guts when I was a kid. I don't think I could have done something like that.
Very dangerous.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So yeah, the M30 pill, if it's got an M30 on it and it's light blue, like a baby blue, Smurf blue almost, just do something about those. Get them out of there, because yeah, that's bad stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's killing people. I know Prescott Valley PD have maybe they're just more vocal about it than the other agencies in the county, but I know Prescott Valley PD talks about having to use the Narcan pans on a regular basis.
We've used it on this side as well.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate that law enforcement officers are now like the first responders with the EMTs and stuff, and they're having to bring people back to life for a short period of time so they can get them someplace to keep them alive.
I will say that, and we've had many Narcan saves. Our officers here have saved lives with Narcan, and Narcan is a wonderful advent that it's proliferated. Law enforcement, all fire carries it, but it's now in people's homes. The scary piece of this, which is never discussed or rarely discussed, is the concern that in the addict's mind, they are chasing the highest high.
Right.
And the people that are not addicted to drugs have difficulty understanding this, that they will risk their life to chase that high. Many of these individuals, it's that much of an illness and addiction, that they will keep Narcan in the house as a break glass in case of emergency. And that, in some cases, I believe, prompts people to push their dosage to chase that high, because they have this false sense of security that, hey, if I go down, my buddy here, and we've seen him, my buddy or my spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, a lot of these Narcan saves are users in the house.
Sure. Yeah.
So the question becomes, going back to cost benefit, it's starting to become a little bit concerning when you see these addicts really pushing the dosage.
I can remember Marilee and I followed her and I talking about that too, where it had become, or maybe it wasn't Marilee, but somebody talked to me about that, and we did a story about the fact that, yeah, it's like, okay, so I'm going to do these drugs, I'm going to push it to the limit, but if I die, make sure you stick me with that thing and call 911.
Right.
So don't you do any drugs over there. You pay attention to what's going on with me.
Right.
So yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah. We got to take our second break.
All right.
Already. Cottonwood Police Chief Steve Gesell is with us in the studio today. CottonwoodAZ.gov is the city's website. Stick around, Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
Who doesn't dream of home improvements? Perhaps your kitchen, the real living room. Maybe the bathroom, where you bookend your day. Langstrand Contracting is your one-stop shop from tear down to finishing touches. With 35 years of experience, Chris and his team will work with you to match your family's style and budget. Call Langstrand Contracting today for guidance in bringing your vision to life.
Hi, this is Greg at Verde Solar Power. You know, Arizona has lots of clean, renewable sunshine, and we want to help you take advantage of it with our quality solar installations, and we offer to beat any written offer on a residential solar electric system. So bring us your electric bill and let us show you how solar power will save you money. We're located conveniently here in the Verde Valley and are dedicated to helping the valley go solar. So remember, the energy solution comes up every morning.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gesell and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gesell's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gesell's High Desert Mechanical Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle, get Gesell's.
Back countywide, we got a few minutes left in the program. Cottonwood Police Chief Steve Gesell with us today. Recruitment, how are we doing, officer-wise?
You know, we are doing, my agency, and I'm only speaking for us, because obviously there's massive recruitment issues across the United States. There has been for years, particularly since the false narrative that has been launched against the American police officer, which has been so detrimental to so many, our society in general, but certainly so many neighborhoods that need and want the police there. Our leaders have failed and made policy decisions and legislation, quite frankly, and it continues, that impact recruitment efforts in the next generation of heroes that step up and suit up and put the badge on and go out there every day and try to make a positive difference. We are very fortunate, as you know, we live in work in a community that's very supportive of its police department. Coming from one where that was not the case before here on the coast of California, that I have perspective, and I can tell you that we're very, very grateful. I say it all the time. We're very grateful for the support that we have here, as we don't live in that world. We have a pretty solid reputation, so we're able to pull in some talent. It still has not been a cakewalk to find good candidates, qualified candidates, because we simply can't compromise. As you've got, 23, 22, 21 sometimes year-old autonomous decision makers out there, and and it's a very, very important job, and we want to make sure that we hire the best people. So we've been doing that. We've hired some local talent recently that has come over from other agencies, which has been a huge blessing for us, because of the next challenge for us, and challenge across the board for many industries up here, is the cost of housing and the housing stock shortage. So if I have people coming in, I've hired a couple laterals. I had hired one outside of Kenosha, believe it or not, that punched out and is a phenomenal officer for us here. Those opportunities are becoming pretty limited, because these, based on the salaries, if they don't have a spouse that with a combined income that will put them in a position to afford housing here, first they got to find it.
Right.
And then they have to be able to purchase, and it's becoming more and more challenging. And I speak for my business, but certainly a lot of industries are struggling with that right now. There's a massive housing shortage in the Verde, in Yavapai County, quite frankly, and in many areas across the nation. And the housing stock is waning, and the prices are skyrocketing. So it's very challenging to find people.
Yeah, we just had the Cottonwood City Manager and Sedona City Manager at the same time talking about just the housing and what they're going to try to do to see if they can figure out what to do about that. Sedona's got a plan in place, and they're rolling it out, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes down the road. I guess we're reminding everybody, National Night Out. It's not posted anywhere on Cottonwood PD's pages right now, but it's tentatively set right now for October 5th.
October 5th.
October 5th.
We will post it ASAP on the date.
Right.
But yeah, October 5th, we advertise it as
Cottonwood Kids Park?
Cottonwood Kids Park, thank you for the location. We advertise it as Arizona's largest attended singular National Night Out event.
Award-winning.
Yeah, we believe it's one of the best attended. It's a great time. We have demos, food there. So,
30 seconds left. We got a new canine officer. Will the new canine there, an officer be there possibly?
Possibly. Yeah, he's. I'm not sure when his training. I think the selection of the dog and the training is after that. So we
Gotcha.
probably won't see that, but we're very excited, and that is that officer we got from out near Kenosha.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for coming in.
Beautiful.
And just
Anytime.
chatting with me for 30 minutes.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
CottonwoodAZ.gov is the website. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we will talk to you again next time.